Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fluent Nest English, where learning English is easy and fun. I am Emily.
And I am Ollie. Hello, Emily. Hello, everyone. It is so wonderful to be here with you all today.
It is so great to have you here, Ollie. Now, Ollie, I want to ask you something today that I realize I have never actually asked you before.
That sounds either very interesting or slightly worrying. Which is it?
Very interesting, I promise. Tell me about your city, where you grew up, what it is like, what you love about it, what drives you a little crazy about it, all of it.
Yo, that is a big question, and one I genuinely love being asked, because I think the city you grow up in shapes you in ways you do not fully realize until you leave it.
That is a beautiful thought to start with. Tell me everything.
So, I grew up in a city that most people outside my country have never heard of. It is not a famous city. It does not have iconic landmarks that appear on postcards, but it has something that I think is rarer and more valuable than famous landmarks.
Emily 5. What is that?
Character. Real character. The kind of character that comes from generations of people living and working and arguing and celebrating in the same streets. You can feel the history in the buildings, even the ones that are a little worn down.
I love that. Character is such a perfect word for what makes a city feel alive. Not its size, not its famous buildings, but the feeling you get when you walk its streets.
Exactly. And the food. I have to mention the food, because the food in my city is something I have never been able to fully recreate anywhere else I have lived since.
What kind of food?
Street food mostly. The kind of food that comes from small stalls that have been in the same spot for 40 years. Run by people who learn to cook from their parents who learn from their parents. The kind of food that has memory in it.
Food that has memory in it. That is extraordinary. Tell me what your city looks like. How would you describe it to someone who has never been there?
Busy, colorful, loud in the best possible way. There is always something happening. Always movement. Always noise. It is not a city that ever really goes completely quiet. Even at 3 in the morning, there is something going on somewhere.
That sounds like a city with a pulse that never stops.
A pulse that never stops. Yes, that is exactly it. And it can be exhausting sometimes. But you also miss it when you're not there. You miss the energy, the aliveness of it.
What do you miss most when you are away from it?
The familiarity. Knowing where everything is. Knowing the shortcuts. Knowing which cafe has the best coffee on which street. That particular kind of comfort that comes from knowing a place so deeply almost feels like an extension of yourself.
Knowing a place so deeply it feels like an extension of yourself. That is one of the most beautiful descriptions of home I have ever heard.
What about you, Emily? Tell me about your city.
My city is very different from what you are describing. It is smaller, quieter, the kind of city where you can walk from one end to the other in about 40 minutes. And most people seem to know each other, or at least know of each other.
There is something very special about that kind of city, that sense of community and closeness.
There really is. And what I love most about it is that it never feels rushed. Big cities have this energy that can feel like everyone is running somewhere, and you should be too. My city does not have that. It moves at a gentler pace.
That sounds like exactly what some people need.
It is wonderful for your nervous system. And it has this beautiful old quarter with cobblestone streets and buildings that are hundreds of years old. Walking through it on a quiet morning before the day gets busy is one of my favorite things in the world.
Before the day gets busy, before the world gets loud, those small morning moments in a beautiful place are something you cannot put a price on.
Now, let us look at all the phrases from our conversation about cities and places, because there is so much rich, natural vocabulary in what we just said.
Character means the distinctive qualities and feeling that make a place unique. A city with character is one that feels alive and individual. Not generic, not like everywhere else.
Has a pulse means is alive and full of energy. The city has a pulse means you can feel its energy and aliveness even when you are just walking through it.
Food that has memory in it is such a poetic phrase for food that carries cultural and personal history. When you eat it, you are connecting to something deeper than just flavor.
An extension of yourself means something that feels so familiar and connected to you that it seems like part of who you are. A place you know so deeply it becomes part of your identity.
Moves at a gentler pace means the rhythm of life there is slower and more relaxed. Less rushing, less urgency, more room to breathe.
Now everyone, if you're enjoying this conversation, please give this video a like and subscribe to Fluent Nest English. We make real English conversations every single week.
Yes, please subscribe. And tell us in the comments. Tell us about your city. Just one sentence. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about where you are from? We genuinely want to know.
We cannot wait to read your answers. Now, let us smooth some sentences out.
My city is big and busy. Smooth version. My city has this incredible energy that never really stops. Even at 3 in the morning, there is always something happening somewhere. It has a pulse that just never goes quiet.
Basic sentence. I miss my city when I am away. Smooth version. When I am away from home, what I miss most is that deep familiarity. Knowing the shortcuts. Knowing where to go for the best coffee. That particular comfort of knowing a place so well it almost feels like part of you.
Basic sentence. My city is old. Smooth version. There is this beautiful old quarter with cobblestone streets and buildings that have been standing for centuries. Walking through it on a quiet morning is one of those things you never get tired of.
Now, let us do a practice conversation, where Ollie asks Emily about her city in a natural flowing way, and Emily uses all the vocabulary from today to answer beautifully.
Emily, if I were coming to visit your city for the first time, what is the first thing you would want to show me?
Without question, the Old Quarter. It is the heart of the city. The streets are cobblestone and narrow, and the buildings lean toward each other slightly like they are having a very old conversation.
That is such a vivid image. Buildings leaning toward each other, having an old conversation.
And in the morning before the day gets busy, it is almost magical. The light comes through differently. Everything is quieter. You can feel the history of it in a way you cannot when it is full of people and noise.
What about the food? What would you make me try?
There is a small bakery in the Old Quarter that has been in the same family for 3 generations. The bread comes out of the oven at 6 in the morning, and by 7 there is always a queue outside. We would be going to that bakery.
All completely natural. All vivid and expressive. All the kind of English that makes someone listening feel like they are actually there with you.
Real character. Exactly. And after breakfast, I would take you up to the viewpoint at the top of the hill, where you can see the whole city spread out below you. It looks completely different from up there. Smaller. More manageable. Like something you could hold in your hands.
An extension of yourself means something so familiar it feels like part of your identity. Moves at a gentler pace means life there is slower and more relaxed. And before the day gets busy means in those quiet early morning moments before everything starts.
Let us do a final summary of the key phrases from today. Character means the distinctive alive quality that makes a place feel unique. Has a pulse means full of energy and life. Food that has memory in it means food that carries cultural and personal history. Well, everyone, that is all for today's episode. We hope you feel ready to talk about your own city in English with warmth and confidence, and all the beautiful phrases you heard today.
Please do not forget to subscribe to Fluent Nest English and like this video. And share it with a friend who wants to speak about their home in English. These phrases will help them do it beautifully.
And leave us a comment below telling us about your city. Just one sentence. What comes to mind first? We read every single one, and we genuinely love learning about where our listeners are from.
We love reading every single one. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye. And tell us about your city. We are waiting.